Okay, so I live in Illinois, and by the way, thanks everybody for watching, and thank you to my subscribers for the continued support and for coming back. This is from the Chicago Tribune, and since I live in Illinois, I would have reported on this anyway, but you know what I thought I'd do just for fun? That I'd go ahead and use this story and show you how it's a mathematic arithmetic fact. This country is going to be done in probably 8 years at the most. And that's optimistic, and it's not really realistic, but just thought I'd use this as an example. So this came out April 18th, just a few days ago. Comptroller says Illinois lawmakers will have to get in a long line to get paid. Illinois Comptroller plans to delay monthly paychecks for lawmakers and statewide officials, saying there isn't enough money to pay the state's bills and that other services should come first. The Comptroller's office will still process the paychecks, estimated at $1.3 million a month, but lawmakers won't get the money right away because the payments will be thrown onto the state's huge pile of unpaid bills. Huh. So here's a question. Actually, back up before I ask that question. ChaseNet4 did this in a video like a week or two ago, and I've done this as well. I think a year or two ago, but regardless, in case you didn't see his video or didn't see my video, 1776 is when this country came into existence. In 1981, that's when the first $1 trillion debt was accumulated. So it took over 200 years to build up the first $1 trillion in debt. And then what's really interesting is that 19 years later, it tripled, just like that. And then 8 years later, it tripled again to $9 trillion. Now we're standing in 8 years later at 2016, and I just looked at the debt, and it's over $19 trillion. It doubled in 8 years. So let's, for fun, say that in 8 years from now, government spending will be the same, even though we know that's not possible and we know that's not going to happen because we've invited all these people and opened our borders and said, come on over, everybody, free lunch. But let's just say, because it's nice outside, let's have fun today. We'll just say that government spending stays the same and the debt just doubles. So let me ask you a question. When you have places like Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Detroit, Michigan, I think San Bernardino, California as well. I can't remember if that's one, but there are at least 1 or 2 cities in California. All these different cities declaring bankruptcy when the state or the country's debt is at $19 trillion or less at the time whenever they declared bankruptcy. We have all these major corporations laying thousands of people off, all also defaulting and declaring bankruptcy. How do you think all these corporations, companies, cities, and states are going to do when the debt is sitting at $38 trillion in 8 years? How are they going to pay the bills then? Spoiler alert, they can't and they won't. All this is hanging on are promises from known liars, and it works until it doesn't. So I think we got 8 years being really unrealistically optimistic. These numbers right here, this is why voting doesn't matter. This is why the election doesn't matter. This is why it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to argue math. I'm not going to argue these numbers with anybody. It's right here for everybody to see.